my grandmother's house in Saigon. It's where my parents were born. They were born here, they were raised here, and they worked here all their life. That's my dad's mum. She's a cute little dumpling, isn't she? I love her now. I come here when I come back to Vietnam, and I just sit. I sit for hours on end. I watch the locals walk by and try to absorb everything I can. And I sit here and I contemplate, you know, what life would have been for me if I didn't make it to Australia. What would I be doing? Would I be here serving street food on the street? Would I be recycling bottles? This is what I love doing here. I come back and I try to discover my roots and what could have been my life if I stayed in Vietnam. When I was 18, I decided to visit Vietnam after the open door policy was introduced by the Vietnamese government. This allowed me to visit many of my relatives living in Ho Chi Minh City. It was quite an emotional time for me, as I'd never met my family before. Growing up, I was told so many wonderful and sad stories from my parents of life in Vietnam. And it's here in this small community just outside Ho Chi Minh City where both my parents were born. It seems in some places that the 21st century has no place in the minds of the local people, and you see in their smiles that they are happy to live the same lifestyles enjoyed by generations before them. This corner here is called the chicken market. You can buy your fresh chickens here, freshly slaughtered, and then you can come over here where the chickens can watch themselves being cooked away in the hot oil, poor little buggers. And we also have some boiling duck embryo here as well, so I feel sorry for chickens, but they're delicious. You know, we've got the bean sprout that's been freshly picked. And this is how you actually remove the bean from the sprout itself. So as you see, it's all coming down, and the mung beans are collected, they're dried, and they're packaged for people like us in Australia, where we just buy it from the supermarket. But this is how it's really done. And then the finished product is white, crunchy, crispy, fresh bean sprout. Delicious. This lady sits here, her home is here, and she just grinds fresh chili all day. Peeled and chopped up garlic for you, and the most difficult job, lemongrass. She just chops it up all day. You just come in, you pack it up. Your preparation at home for cooking is so simple. I'm going to make for you a very simple and fast salad recipe using pomelo. Pomelo is very similar to the grapefruit, but it's a little bit less bitter and quite sweet. Pomelo is the biggest citrus fruit in the world. Sometimes bigger than this, like a basketball. Now to prepare this is Vietnamese style preparing this way. Cut this right on the tip there, cut that tip off. And you're going to make long incisions from the bottom here up throughout the whole pomelo. Now my parents taught me how to prepare this dish in this fashion. It's just a bit of fun, I think. So that's all the way around. Kind of peel it down here. Just put your thumb in there, peel it down, but just leave it hanging from the bottom. So I do that all the way around without it breaking off. I've got one more to go. I can sit back down again. There you go. So we've got a nice little crown there. Just gonna rip out the grapefruit itself. Now many years ago, I came back to Saigon and they brought in a new rule. On every motorbike, you had to wear a helmet. And helmets were quite expensive back then, so the Vietnamese came up with an idea. And there it is. There's your pomelo. And when I go outside, I've also got my helmet. How do I look? How's that? Now I know I look like a complete clown, but at least I'll be safe on the motorbike. Let's take that off now. Okay. How's the hair? All right, so we've got the pomelo. We're going to cut that in half, just directly in half, maybe even quarters. And Now with this membrane here, you need to peel this off because it's quite bitter. And you can even just use your hands and peel off the actual fruit and make a mess, make it juicy. Now these pomelos are grown abundant in the Mekong Delta because it's very tropical, it's very hot down there. These love that weather. So that was the hard part. Now comes the easy part, just breaking these into smaller bite-sized pieces. Now we'll start with the dried shrimp. Now this is dried in the sunlight for a whole day and it compresses down, it gets really salty, really flavoursome. Now, I've just quickly fried this with a bit of oil and garlic just to give it a bit more aroma and a bit of a crunch. So a good handful of the dried shrimp. Oh, that's good. I've got some mud crab which I bought straight from the Bentan markets. Now I'll leave a bit of crab later so it looks pretty after we finish. Fried red shallots, the Asian ones. Some peanuts. I'm going to leave these whole just because I love the crunch. Now I'm using Vietnamese mint here. Vietnamese mint, it's long, it's elongated, and it's quite peppery and quite spicy. Bit of a punch. So we like that. And we've also got just your continental mint, which is just your basic green mint here. Just slice it up quickly. It doesn't have to be too thin, just nice thick chopped is fine. And remember to slice through your mint, don't chop it. I said chop, didn't I? I meant slice. There you go. Throw that in. I'm just going to dress it. So I'll dress with my nước mắm chấm. Now, nước mắm in Vietnamese means fish sauce. That's the salty part of it. When I add another chấm to it, which means the dipping or the salad dressing. So you got fish sauce, cooked with vinegar, cooked with sugar and water. And then I add chili, garlic, and fresh lime to the end. 3 spoons of that. Get your hands in there. Okay, that's very well mixed. And that's it. That's pretty much it. I'm just going to plate it up. Very simple, very fast, very fresh, colourful, vibrant. It looks delicious. I'm going to put a bit more crab on the top. Scatter that over. A bit more nuts. Fried shallot. And last, of course, let's chop up some chili. Pomelo salad with fresh mud crab and dried shrimp. At Red Lantern, I hired 2 people to do this all day for my green papaya salads. The beauty about coming to Vietnam and cooking here, you can buy it already done. Peeled, washed, blanched. Take it on the shoulder and take it away. Ease up! I didn't pay for that yet. Anyway. Cái cô 1 ký này bao nhiêu anh? 7.000. 7,000 dong, 60 cents. I'm moving to this country. I was so amazed to see how these people live, squeezed into these little houses. Living so close to each other, your personal space seems to be invaded everywhere you look. These communities thrive in an atmosphere of hard work, but most of all, fun. I come to stores like this and I'm just so amazed at all the variety they have here. This is all dried prawns. You know, and all these prawns are from the Mekong Delta. Look how many we've got here. And I just stand here and I learn so much because I ask questions. I'm like, what's that variety for and what's that variety for and how long it's dried for? Back home, you have to get into your car, drive to the supermarket and do your shopping. But here in Vietnam, locals just step out their front door and have access to whatever they need. And if you feel like Vietnamese takeaway, no problem. Now this store happens to be my grandma's favourite. Barbecue grilling plays a large role in Vietnamese cuisine. I'm sitting here next to the lady that sells barbecue skewers with marinated pork tenderloin. She's been here for 30 years, so I'm really honoured to be sitting here next to her, doing her thing. Today's dish, I'm going to be cooking marinated pork neck on the grill, served with a cold vermicelli salad. So right now, I'm going to start with a simple marinade. Now, when you're going to a Sunday barbecue, remember this marinade. It's very simple with great results. I've got some spring onions that I'm going to slice up. Just the white part of the spring onion. So we'll leave the green part for later, but the white part you probably need around 6. So I'll grab around 6 there. And slice it up finely. As fine as you can, so you can just pound it, make your job easier. Probably stop there. Now, I borrowed this mortar and pestle from a neighbour just around here. They told me it was like over 100 years old, so it's really heavy. It'll do the job though. Throw that in there. And you want to pound it for a little bit of time, just so you get a nice fine paste. So I've pounded that so it's a nice smooth paste. I'll put that aside and that's heavy, and I'll start making my marinade. We need around 2 tablespoons of white sugar or caster sugar. And this is all about balance. It's balancing the flavours here. Sugar, fish sauce. Fish sauce is an essential ingredient. I'll probably put around 3 tablespoons. And we've also got honey as well. So around 1/4 cup of honey. So this will give that caramelised kind of charcoal flavour on the grill. Just kind of mix that up. Dissolve the sugar through. Around 2 cloves of garlic I've diced up finely. And I've also got, oh, that smells so good. And I've also got the cracked black pepper, around a teaspoon of that. So once that all goes in, you'll add your bashed spring onion. Mix that up. Now have a taste of it before you start marinating it. I like it a little bit salty, a little bit sweet. If you like it a little bit more sweet, put some more honey in there. That tastes good to me. Okay, now I'm going to start with the meat. Right, there's my slab of pork neck. Now, if you're at home, you should wrap this up in plastic wrap. Put it in the freezer for around an hour or so it kind of hardens a little bit. It'll make your slicing much easier because you need to slice this for around 3mm pieces. Just nice fine slices. You're going to need around 500 grams, so half a kilo. But make more. Your guests will really enjoy it. Okay, so that's probably enough for my serve. So marinade's here, that's tasting good. Yep. Marinate my meat. Now the meat, I always love to marinate meat overnight for the best results. But if you don't have time and the guests are coming or dinner's getting ready soon, 2 hours is enough. So once I'll put my meat in there, I'll kind of give it a bit of a massage. Make sure all the meat is coated. And if your meat is a little bit frozen from slicing it, just make sure it's soft before you put it back in the fridge again. Before you cover this with plastic wrap, get some vegetable oil, a few tablespoons on the top there. Just enclose all the flavours. Okay, I'll cover that up now and I'll refrigerate it for 2 hours and I'll come back and cook it. Instead of using bamboo skewers, I'm using wooden chopsticks. True Saigon style. Small knife, wooden chopstick. Just watch your fingers and just kind of bash it down. There's your skewer. So instead of having to thread your meat in, I'm just going to push it through there as we do. You don't need to drain this at all. Just put it through your chopstick, like so, and it just holds it together tightly. Yeah, fantastic. That's what I love about cooking in Vietnam. You just learn all the tricks of how they used to do it back in the old days. Grandma, banana leaf, tying that up, priceless. Now I'll grill it for you. So we want the heat, low to medium heat, not too high, especially if you're cooking with coal here. And it only needs 2 minutes per side. So I'm not going to continuously turn, I'm just going to leave it for 2 minutes. 2 minutes later, I'll turn it over, nice charred flavour, and that's done. Just turn them over. Oh, look at the colour. Honey and the sugar cooking there, perfectly cooked. You should be here to smell this. Amazing. So they're done now, 2 minutes on each side, and I'm going to get my lovely friend to prepare me a bowl. Cô cho một tô bún thịt nướng đi thôi ha. So we've got bean sprouts here, fresh herbs, perilla leaf, mint, some nice fluffy vermicelli noodles on top of that. Sliced up cucumber. These are the Lebanese cucumber kind. And the freshly grilled meat. Pickled vegetables, so daikon, carrots in a pickle overnight. Yep, homemade fish sauce over the top. And crushed peanuts, of course, very vital. And spring onion. Come on, go on, you. And this is my dish. I'm buying a kilo of corn here. Now this is young corn. It's white, it's gorgeous, and I'm gonna make my sweet dessert from this. Now she's just gonna clean it up for me, and it's quite a beautiful process. She's just taken off the cob, and all of the dried parts just fall off and float away. The finished result, very clean, very white corn. So 1 kilo, all that work, 15,000 dong. Just under $1. Come on. I've got my corn for my sweet dessert. Now all I need is to get my freshly pressed coconut cream and coconut milk. And I'm just going to order around half a kilo of this. Let's give it to our lovely lady friend here. She'll freshly chop it up. So that's a young coconut juice. That'll be used for cooking, slow braising, or just drinking. So she's going to turn on a little grater. And I'm going to take all that fresh coconut and squeeze my own coconut cream and coconut milk. Chưa một ký nè.
Cho đủ 1 ký luôn phải không?
Để luôn. I need 1 kilo. So I've got my freshly grated coconut, and the lovely lady here said, yeah, you can use my little corner here. So I've got half a kilo of freshly grated coconut, half a cup of lukewarm water. That's all you need. Now I'm going to extract this out and squeeze it out. That's going to be my thick coconut cream. So I'm going to knead that and squeeze that through. So as you can see, the cream's started to come out already through my hands. And it's really good for your skin as well, I think. Okay, so that's a good few minutes. That's all you need. And I'm going to put it into my bag here. Oh, thank you. Come on, you, huh? There you go. Isn't she great? So I'll put it in a bag here, which we've made at home. And then I'm just going to squeeze all the cream out. Look at that. Keep squeezing. So there it is, my thick coconut cream that I'll use for my dessert. My parents asked me to visit my Auntie Aid in Hoc Mong, about an hour south of Ho Chi Minh City. All family members are numbered. I don't know my auntie's real name. I only know her as Auntie Aid. It works like this. The parents are respected as number 1. The first child is addressed as number 2. The second child is number 3, and so on. This is my Auntie Aid's wholesale corn market. Truckloads of corn just came from Da Ninh, which is northwest of Saigon. We've got all these ladies here sorting out all the different grades of corn from 1 to 8, and they just fling it. I don't even know. Cái này số mấy? Số 7 huh? Số 7 goes in the 7 basket. There you go. Number 1 goes in the number 1 basket, and it's all sorted out all day. So the number 1 corn goes to the freshly char grilled corn where you see on the street, and it's got to be in perfect condition. Number 7, the kind of smaller ones, out of shape, a bit old, they get peeled off, dried in the sun, and given to cows, or is used as sweet desserts. So that's number 7 as well. I think that was the wrong basket. Number 1 would be one beautiful one like this. It's the biggest corn you can find out of the bunch. As you can see, you peel it off, nice and fresh, and you would use this to char grill. So you got a beautiful shape, nice colour, perfection. That goes into number 1 basket, and they just sort this all day. And the men would lug these big baskets and put it into their categories, and the wholesale people will come and choose their corn. I went to the market this morning to buy all the ingredients for my sweet corn pudding. I bought my corn, I bought my coconut cream and coconut milk, and my auntie Nate's like, why are you buying corn for? I own a wholesale corn business, you idiot. She knocked me on the head. So anyway, I'll start with this. I've got a cup of mung beans. So these are dried, peeled mung beans, and I've soaked it in water for 1 hour just to soften. I'm going to cook that up now. Put that on fire. I've got 4 cups of coconut milk, which is a thin coconut, just after the coconut cream. So I'll pour that in, around 4 cups of that into my pot, and I'm going to pour my mung beans in it. Throw that in. Cook that on high for around 20 minutes until the mung beans soften. I'll let that cook away. And you need around 12 corns. Now this corn is the number 1 corn. So I'm going to peel that off. I need to do 12 of these to get my recipe correct. This will feed around 4 to 6 people. Now as you can see, this corn is the white variety. Now the white corn is basically young corn. Now my auntie taught me just to shave it nice and elegantly, nice and lightly. So shave it down there, all around. The reason why we use this young corn is because it has this special milk that's in there. As you can see, it comes out and there's this milky element in there which acts as a natural thickener. So you don't need flour, you don't need corn flour. This will thicken your pudding. I'll do another one there for you. Peel that down. So that's been bubbling away for around 20 minutes. Just taste if that's nice and soft yet. Yep, that's good. Once that's done, I'm going to put in my shaved corn. Once I put the corn in, I'm going to keep stirring. Don't take your eyes off it. Now that's starting to thicken up straight away now. I'll let that cook for 10 minutes until the corn softens. Now I'm going to add my 150 grams of sugar. Give that a good stir. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Lastly, I'll put my 1 cup of coconut cream in. That's looking almost ready now. Good consistency. Give that a bit of a taste test before I go. So I'm really happy with this. It's perfectly cooked, good texture. I'm just going to plate a bowl for myself and my auntie ate, and we'll eat this as a snack just during the day. And I've toasted some sesame seeds. And there you have it. Jebap, sweet corn pudding using Auntie Eight's number 1 corn. It's extremely hot out here in Hoc Mom. I've been cooking all day. I think it's time for me to go home pretty soon. Yeah? Oh yeah, tonight. On our next show, we travel down the mighty Mekong Delta to check out the floating markets, cook a recipe using my uncle's Chinese herbs, and prepare a family feast using the most unusual ingredients.